The Gods of Krynn can be broken down into three categories. GameMasters here, and while the new Dragonlance book, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, doesn't go into high detail about the Gods of Krynn, it does offer up just enough flavor for you to use them once you are ready to expand beyond the adventure that is contained inside. Or you can homebrew them into the existing adventure and take it off in a totally different direction. While there is certainly a rich lore that details the gods in fine detail in older editions, what I want to present to you is how they are represented in this new book. As mentioned, they can be broken down into three categories: good, neutral, and evil. Most of the inhabitants of Ansalon feel that the gods have abandoned them, perhaps moved to other planes or other worlds. However, miracles can and do happen. Many of the older inhabitants of Krynn can still see the shapes of the gods, both in nature and in the constellation of stars, and peppered throughout the lands are ancient and forgotten temples and sanctuaries that still hold powers and wonders of the gods. What I present are not all of the gods that are involved in Krynn, but these are the ones that this new book specifically mentions. We'll start off with the good gods of Krynn. These will provide healing and comfort to the mortals of Krynn and strive to preserve mortal choice. Branchala, also known as the Bard King, is the god of music, poetry, and the inner beauty of all living things. Elves and Kinder tend to gravitate to him above other gods and celebrate him in bringing joy, laughter, and solace to those who listen. Habakkuk, the Fisher King, no, not Robin Williams, oversees the sea, animal life, and balance of nature. It is usually in the company of hunters, sailors, and farmers that one will hear talk of this god. Kiri Jolith is the god of righteous war, blessing those who fight in the name of good, those who strive to do the right thing. The Knights of the Sword are his main followers. Mejir is the god of meditation and discipline, making the monk his #1 follower. Orphans raised in monasteries will often take on the surname Mejir out of respect when they leave to embark upon the world. Meshakal is the god of compassion, healing, and love. She will often reach out to heroes to soothe suffering and is generally worshipped by healers and guardians of the community. Paladine is the father of good, the master of law, the platinum dragon, sometimes referred to as Bahamut on other worlds. He leads the good gods and keeps watch over order, justice, and mercy. He also likes to walk among lands in human form and will go by the name Fizban, appearing to be a befuddled old man. Solinari is the god of good magic and is generally worshipped by the Order of the White Robes. His power is manifested through the White Moon of Krynn and has a hint of a tether to Lunatari and the neutral god, and Nuatari, the evil god, but more on them in a moment. The last of the good gods is the Thumbs Up. This one's not exactly worshipped, but rather is given power by you, the viewer. As if you're enjoying this video, you give the thumbs up button a press. It helps this channel to grow, and the thumbs up and I appreciate your help. Neutral gods are often passive and distant, more content on only getting involved when the need to uphold balance is required. They prefer to let mortals figure things out for themselves. Chislev is the god of nature, on its own terms. In other words, allowing nature to run its course, regardless of where mortal men have built a town or building. Followers would generally be druids, hermits, and others that respect nature. Gillian is the god of knowledge and more or less the leader of the neutral gods. He sits back and silently observes and is the keeper of the Book of Tobril. It is rumored that Tobril contains all the knowledge of the gods and that Gillian sometimes walks the lands in human form under the name of Estinus of Palanthas. Lunatari is the god of neutral magic and illusion, generally followed by the Order of the Red Robes, with her power being manifested through the Red Moon of Krynn. She will often use her illusions to trick both mortals and gods alike. Riorx is the god of creation, inspiration, and artisanship. He has been given credit as having created gnomes, dwarves, Kinder, and possibly even Krynn itself. He likes to tinker. Shinari is the god of wealth, commerce, and industry. Many a merchant will give prayer, but many know that her influence can cross over from legitimate commerce as well as business dealings of a more back alley nature. Sirion is the god of alchemy, transformation, and oddly enough, flames and serendipitous creation. He inspires passion, and his followers embrace extremes of emotion as forms of divine expression. Zivelin is the god of wisdom, but more so, it is the ability to calm one's mind to contemplate that wisdom that his followers are attracted to. It is said that he exists in all times, in all places, and contains all of the collected wisdom from all planes of existence. Evil gods of Krynn embody power, vengeance, and other aspects that point to self over community. These gods desire to rule the mortal world, tossing temptation at mortals in hopes to corrupt them and bend them to their will. Chemosh is the god of undeath and false redemption, often tempting his followers with immortality, only for them to find out that only in death, as a zombie, is when they'll live forever. Hudukel is the god of greed and treachery. If great wealth has been stolen, there's a good chance that he has had his hand in that. His true goal, however, is not amassing riches, but rather acquiring souls. Morgion is the god of disease and decay. He generally does not confer with other gods, but instead rules from his bronze tower, an otherworldly location where he broods and pursues his own schemes. Neutrality is the god of evil magic and darkness and is generally followed by the Order of the Black Robes, with his power being manifested through the Black Moon of Krynn. He encourages selfish and destructive magic. Sarganos is the god of flame, vengeance, and wrath. He often will fight alongside Takhisis, but also tends to scheme against her wishes, kind of tempting fate. He can sometimes be seen walking the lands as a minotaur using the name Sargas. Speaking of Takhisis, she is the leader of the evil gods of Krynn, known as the Dragon Queen, the Queen of Darkness, and on other worlds, Tiamat. She is the god of power, pride, and control, and is also the queen of chromatic dragons. She can sometimes be seen walking the land in mortal form as a powerful human warrior with long black hair, or as a massive five-headed dragon. Zeboam is the god of the ocean in its destructive aspect. Eroding landfront, crumbling cliffs, she is also the god of dangerous sea creatures. She often has bouts of rage, and when on a bender, even her followers are at risk of her wrath. Many of the gods are very intertwined with each other. It's easy to see how they could easily work together in harmony, but it's also understandable that they simply choose not to. As mentioned at the top of this video, there are many more gods that interact with the inhabitants of Krynn, and while they're not found in this particular book, I will list below in the description some good content that you can get on DM's Guild that will fill them out in detail. If you'd like to see more Dragonlance material that we have covered from this book, be sure to check out this playlist. What do you think about Krynn's pantheon? Are there gods missing that you feel should have been included? Let me know down in the comments, and until next our paths cross, may you not get smote by an evil god.